Yo, what's up, guys? How y'all doing? Just pull out the chat here. I don't know why, but the chat always disappears on my screen, so I have to put on my phone. What's up, guys? Yo, by the way, Sir Mamat, I DM'd you on Twitter, by the way, just so you know. I DM'd you on Twitter your code because I couldn't find your email for some reason. That should be good. W layout or not? That's a W layout, in my opinion. Right here. Do you trade live every day? No, I trade live on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I think it's better if I put my I don't know if it's better if I put my screen, because I'll just let it like this. I think it's better, and I'll have my chart, my ES chart to the right, just to make sure. But it's not that deep if you guys can't see the ES chart really. I'll put it like exactly where my face cam is. Like this. Yeah, that's good. So you guys can see like the screen that I'm watching. It's this one. So what's up, guys? What's up? What's up? So today, in terms of inversion plays, let me just go and see. In terms of inversion plays, go here first. That's the first thing we do. So let's say here in this case, talking purely off of inversion plays, you wouldn't try to long until you hit this zone here. So this sell side and this fair value gap right here, this is where buyers are. And shorts, you wouldn't short until here, basically, and above this high. So those are the zones you would draw, basically. And then let's wait and see what price is gonna do. Taps this zone, so we could have seen possibly a short. So yeah, there was a short opportunity right here. Tap the 15-minute fair value gap right here to the tick. Swept some buy side liquidity right here, resting buy side above. The leg that created the sweep only had one fair value gap on the 1-minute chart, disrespected it. So you either go short here or you wait for a small pullback. There was a breaker right here, so could wait for price to get back up to have a better risk to reward, 1-to-1 back towards this most recent low. So you would get filled on that candle right here, stop loss above this high, take profit below this low. And let's see, in a few minutes you hit the target right here. So a lot of people, I think you see here, it was a good play in my opinion because it respected the rules. But I saw people trying to take longs here, which, you know, you didn't have that 15-minute gap with you at all. So you see there was no gaps, respecting price really. There was this one to the left, but yeah, I mean, Yeah, I mean, it was not that bad. I mean, it was not that bad, yeah. Could have got squeezed on this one for sure. On this long. And then let's see. Still didn't tap this 15-minute bullish one right here. And also here you disrespected this gap so you wouldn't look for shorts. So it was the only play, really, in terms of inversions, of course. What's up? What's up? Do you have a VIP? I have one, but it's closed right now. It is closed. It's closed, so the only thing I'm doing really is I do mentorships, but I don't really promote it anywhere. You really have to go out of your way to ask me, really. But yeah, that's the only thing I do. What's up, Geek? How are you doing, bro? Yeah, I'm gonna do a giveaway, guys, by the way, like every stream. I need, so 80 likes is a an advanced account, so 50K advanced. 100 likes is a growth, and 150 likes is a straight to funded account. So I've been giving away way too many straight to funded accounts, to be honest. Like I gave out what, like 8, 9. Uh, like we need to show more love for me to give away an account that is worth around like what, $300 USD. So lock in, lock in. So here, pretty big accumulation. I would like to see this hourly low get swept before looking at any longs. There's a lot of sellers inside this hourly candle. Bruh. I want to see this low get swept here. Do you find some months which are always harder to trade? Um, Usually with my system, January is hard. Depending, like I have 3 main strategies, but there's one of my strategies that every single year I started to backtest. January and February were really hard, and then yeah, for the most part, it's pretty random in terms of wins and losses, really. What's up, Joel? How are you doing? Not the cleanest day for me. Yeah, it's all good, man. All good. I lost on, when did I lost? I lost on Tuesday, I think, and made my money back plus more yesterday, but yeah, it's not that easy of a week, to be honest, for me also. Not a lot of opportunities, so staying cash. I mean, there is opportunities, but I'm not willing to enter that aggressively where I am currently, so. Yo, Moss, I won last week, still didn't get the. No way. I sent it on Sunday, so just look at your emails. If you didn't receive it, um, go in the link in my YouTube bio, join my Discord. Okay, it's free Discord, and just type in general chat. Okay, type in general chat, and I'm going to send you the code from Discord. All right, that's what we're gonna do, cause sometimes emails, people don't receive emails, or it just lags. Hopefully it's just summer PA and we'll have clean up in September. Yeah, hopefully. I think in the summer PA you need to be cautious of your entry, really. That's really it. And also, let's say this morning, like a lot of people were holding to the London highs and saw that vicious retracement here, which, put them back at break even. Pretty unlucky for those guys. But for me, with, I have a really, really strict system, that I don't deviate from. And for now, I don't see anything. I didn't see anything yet. So we'll see. I saw one trade this morning, like, but I wanted to see price, going back towards this fair value gap. I wanted to short here. Wait. Yeah, I wanted to short here, back towards this low. This was, part of my plan this morning, but I wanted to see price reacting, so pulling back towards this fair value gap, so I would have a better RR. Because at this 10 a.m. opening, like, it could be really, really bad. Like, it could retrace super deep to, super high and then go back towards the draw. So did not want to put in that risk, really. Wanted to stay cash for a little bit. But yesterday's trade was just so clean. Yeah, hit me up on Discord, Mikey. And, when you hit me up, watch out. There's so many fake accounts of mine. First, all right, I will never DM you on Discord or DM you on anything, any platforms, by the way, to sell you anything. I will never sell you anything, or ask you to buy anything from me. That's one thing. Second, can you show me a screenshot of your YouTube description with your email, just so I'm sure it's you. Can you explain why that 3-minute inversion we just got didn't work when digging further into this bullish 15-minute zone? Yeah, actually, that was a good play. That was actually a good play. Because when there's a higher time frame candle closing, you don't want to fade it. So, like, let's say here, looking at this 30-minute candle, just closed bearish, so you would want to see this low get swept first. And even that, let's say, it's not necessarily a bad trade, really. You swept liquidity during the macro and you started to push up. You just accept the loss and go on. I would really say you can't really find always a reason why you lost on the trade, so just move on. My view right now, what I'm looking at is that you see this candle right here, it's so slim. It was an accumulation phase for around 62 handles, okay? So it's really hard for me to play out of this small range. Playing a reversal when the previous candle was so tight is pretty hard, and we traded almost already at OT of that previous candle, so it's really hard. I would like to see price either creating a big bearish candle like this, and see if we can start sweeping the previous candle's low and start trading above the opening price to see a nice move to the upside. I want to see more structure form, basically. When the previous range is small, it's hard for me to find a trade. Really, really hard. Always find August hard. I mean, it's alright. I think for me, it's not, I don't have any months that it's harder. It's just about how deep the retracements are, really. In some months, if you don't enter, let's say on the first breakout, let's say on the pullback of the first breakout, you will not get picked up and price is just running without you. Okay, and in some market condition, what will happen is that, let's say it will break out here, you would need to enter, let's say on a deeper pullback, wait for price to retrace back down, feel, let's say, a 5-minute gap to then push back up. So for me, it's really hard in some market conditions to adapt myself, because let's say in the summer months, usually it doesn't retrace too much. It's really trendy. So in this case, when I go in, let's say September, October, that's what happened last year, I see some bigger retracements, because price has wider swings. It has like 80 points, 100 point swings. So I need to adapt my entry. But in terms of framework, the way that I read price, it's always the same. It's usually pretty accurate. That's what you need to focus on in the first place, I think. Focus on your way to read the chart and have, let's say, a bias. Not a daily bias necessarily. You see, like for me, I don't even look at the daily so much. What I usually look at when I look at a daily chart is those highs and lows. But trying to position myself inside this higher time frame wick just based on the 9:30 move, it's really hard for me. And I don't think the 1-minute chart is the best to predict a whole daily move. I think the 15 or the 5-minute chart is a better time frame to do so. You could have a lot of fake outs. Sorry. But yeah, so for me right now, I would want to see more structure get formed. I would want to see price starting to accept below this low, okay, forming a huge bearish candle here on those higher time frames, because this 4-hour candle is going to close soon. See this 4-hour candle, and I don't want to fade it. Okay, I want to see this 4-hour candle close and then look for a potential either a long or a continuation play back down. I need a simple setup. If you need a simple setup, I have that on my YouTube, to be honest. Truly think right now inversions are in play. Inversion for value gaps are a really good confirmation. If you can understand liquidity, unfilled for value gaps, drawn liquidity, plus you add this inversion to your tool on NQ, it's pretty good to scalp 1-to-1s, 1.5-to-1s. What's up, Benji? How are you doing? But yeah, right now, let's say where I am with my accounts, I'm lowering my risk at this point. You see, like when you're close to a payout, let's say, you don't want to give back too many profits. You already did what was the hardest in the first place. So building that buffer. So once you build that buffer, you can start, lowering your size in order to, just make sure you get that payout. And that's really where I am right now with my trading, because I'm also trading 150K accounts. And 150K accounts, let's say lightning accounts, for you to get the first payout, you need 9K profit target. You need to make 9K. So if you need to make 9K per account, it means, and you can only take out 3. It means that you have a buffer for the next payout. Okay, so this is the hardest part. Okay, making the 9K in the first place is really hard. Then you have 6K drawdown, but you only need to make 4.5. So half of what you did to get the first payout, and then you request a 3K again, and then you only need to make 3 to request a 3K again. Okay, so the first payout, this is hard. It's not easy, but once you get past this, it gets easier and easier and easier. And why do I like this this plan so much? It's because it's kind of a yearly plan, if you ask me. You buy 5 150K accounts, But if you get those 4 payouts in a row without blowing the account, it's 100K guaranteed. You get 100K, so you get 4 payouts, which totals to 62.5K USD, and then you get put into a live account of $35,000. And after 20 trading days with that account, you can, take out all the balance. So it's basically a yearly plan where you can, you could split all those payouts. You only need to get 4 payouts in a year to make 100K. And a lot of people are trying to, risk so much, and they're blowing those accounts, when in reality, if you take it slow, man, you're gonna make 100K, man. You don't believe too much of what you see online, because even if someone has, let's say, 300K in prop firm profits, or not profits but prop firm payouts, you don't know how much he invested in the first place to get that, that 300K. You might have invested 250, because he's a lot, he's putting on a lot of risk and stuff. So I like the Tradeify's plan because you could split it. Even if I get put into a live account after 6 months, I made my 100K. For me, I live in Canada, so 100K is 140K. So yeah, basically it. So I'm taking it slow, close to the first payout for sure on those set of accounts. But yeah, right now lowering the risk, because I know it's the part that I am doing right now is the hardest. Once I'm done with this, then again, I'm gonna lower my risk, and it's gonna take me quite some time to get there, but I don't give a shit. When you see people posting payouts every single week, as fast as you could have gotten that payout, you could have lost the account as fast, So that's really how it is. That's why I take it slow. And you'll see, like, I have 28 trading days. 28 trading days on those set of accounts. Even if you can request a payout after 7, it tells you a lot about, the size traded. I'm not oversizing at all. I'm really and even that, you could still consider me in a sense that I'm quite risk on still, making around $3,000 to $5,000 a day, when you have let's say risking around like $800 to $1,000 per day when you have $6,000 of drawdown is still risk on. It's risk on, really. Like, I've had a lot of drawdown periods in my life, and I've been in 5 losing streaks, 5-day losing streaks, 6-day losing streaks. 60 likes. No, it's 80 likes for a 50K advanced, and 100 likes for a growth, 50K growth. But yeah, that's my advice, I would say. The thing is, really, you got to understand the psychology behind prop firms, guys. That's one thing a lot of people don't understand, is that they try to rush the process. Really, let's say your goal, you're not satisfied with, let's say, making 2K per month. All right, you don't live in a third world country and you want to make more than this. All right, then just put yourself in a position where you will get rewarded for your patience. It's not because you're gonna oversize or take more trades that you're gonna get to the payout. It's just by following your plan. The only thing you can do in the first place to put yourself in a position where you could succeed is buy a number of accounts in the first place that will not make you crash out. Let's say, because it will not make you crash out of impatience. Or what's happening basically with a lot of people is that they buy one account, right? They buy one account, and then the firm is requiring you to make $2,000 with a $2,000 drawdown, which is still 100% of the account. Good. You got to understand that, okay, it doesn't take 1 week to do so. If you have, depending on your, your system, depending on your risk, etc., it doesn't take 1 week to do so. Once you understood that, then you could possibly be trading this account for around 1 month, 1 month and a half. But if you're not happy with making 2K after 1 month and 1 month and a half of patience and following your rules, then just add a good number of accounts, so you are in a position where you're going to stay patient and you're going to get rewarded for your patience. You know, that's always what I say. For me, let's say one account, even if, it's one account, every payout like is taking me around 1 month, 1.5 months, 2 months. Of course, I'm not going to trade one account. I'm not satisfied with one account, so I'm going to have more accounts in my arsenal. Which consistency you had? What do you mean? On my 150K accounts? 20% consistency rule. Right now, yeah, I'm following the 20% consistency rule, but right now I have like 16% consistency. I can show you guys my accounts, but yeah, around 16%. How do you do top-down analysis? I don't do top-down analysis. I'm not a daily. I don't swing off of the daily chart, weekly chart. I'm a scalper. I get out after 10, 15 handles. It's a completely different view of trading, you know? And it's not because I trade this way. Let's say it's not because someone trades in a way that he does a top-down analysis that he has more skill than a scalper at all. It's just two completely different views of the market. I judge that scalping base hits and making 10, 15 handles consistently is more profitable than trying to catch big swings, because the market is not always trending. It's only 20% of the days that price will sell off and give you a big, big, big move. So that's my view on it. So, how much do you withdraw all your profits every month? Usually, yeah. Usually, I don't. I pay myself every month, yeah. If I'm getting the payouts, it's not every month that I'll get a payout because I have good risk. There's two types of people in trading, right? Let's say in prop firm trading. I'm always talking about prop firm trading. There's the sim farmers, and there's the prop firm traders that are, taking it seriously and are having good risk. All right. Sim farmers are trying to gamify those prop firms by buying the biggest number of accounts and try to, you know, they're basically seeing it like a casino. And I don't like this view because I think you could end up in a huge vicious circle. What was your biggest losing streak and how did you handle that? My biggest losing streak was either September 2024, or I've had quite a big losing streak in March. And how did I handle that? Not gonna lie, it was hard. It was hard mentally. It's hard mentally to face drawdown periods when you have a low risk to reward because it's not something you're used to see. But once you live, once you experience it, basically, you can control your emotions after that. But once feel it at the moment, basically the moment that you're losing 6, 7 trades in a row, um there's no real way to handle it. You're just living through it, and then there's going to be a lesson from that. It's either um you should have, let's say the lesson should have been, okay, after I saw this, I felt that I was getting too emotional, so I should have sized down. That's how I see it. It's like there's always a lesson that you're going to learn from a losing streak, and the lesson that I learned from my losing streak was that every system has losing streaks, and when the market is in touch with your edge, you will see it, and when the market is not in touch with your edge, you will also see it. So there's a quote that says, trade big on easy days and trade small on hard days. And yeah, you could literally, Joel, you could we could go back and share the our convos on Discord, but we had a convo, me and Joel, back in 2024, and um, we were DMing back and forth, and we were like, "Holy shit! Right now, we're facing something that is pretty fucking hard, you know, especially because I've had my biggest winning month in August. It's always this. You have your biggest winning month, and then 1 or 2 months after, you're getting on the biggest losing streak. And especially since your mind is, in a sense, since you're in a big winning streak, your mind is saying to yourself, all right, you made it. You're way too good now. You can start leveraging. You can start taking aggressive setups. You can start trusting your system a little bit more. But then you keep you have your guard down, and you get smacked in the face, which is exactly what happened to me. So yeah, I mean, you need to live those moments, man. I think that the best traders are really the most traumatized ones, really, by far. If you got traumatized, let's say by some stuff happening, or if you got your stop loss hit for 5 years straight, you couldn't win a singular trade, and then you find your winning system, you're gonna you're gonna be so much better than someone who never had to deal with those type of emotions in his career, because you know what it is to be a loser. You're already a good loser. You're used to losing. This is exactly what happened to me. At a certain point, for me, basically, I never got rewarded for entering bad trades or trades off of my intuition. I always get spanked. So that's like a blessing, I would say. Number of traders in losing streak. What do you mean? My biggest losing streak was around like 7 trades, 6. I'm also having my biggest losing streak, and it's very hard mentally. Because of that, I missed my setup, which could have gotten me near break even. Listen, there's always another setup, and no system has a 100% win rate. The only thing you have to basically journal and to make sure that you're doing is following your plan. That's the only thing. For me, win or loss, even if I lose 7 times in a row, if I trusted my system and I executed perfectly, I don't care, because these are just numbers, okay? Wins and losses are randomly distributed. You don't know if the next 15 trades are going to be winners, or 5 of them is going to be a win, 3 of them is going to be a loss, and then 7 of them, etc. So if you think that you're doing something wrong because you're trading with discretion, and you don't feel like you're in touch with the market, you feel like you always take the worst possible decision. This is sometimes what will happen if you trade with discretion. Just take time off the chart, reassess, a mental break, and go back in front of the chart and see why and where you went wrong. That's it. It's always the only way to learn is to reflect. Is from the it's you're only learning when you're losing, basically. You're never learning when you're winning. So this feeling of discomfort is really needed. You need that in order to grow. Literally same, I was coming off the most money I've ever made in a single month. August 2024 was easily the best month. Yeah, me too. I remember. Yeah, this month was insane, actually. Everything was going the right way. And that's the thing, is like, let's say I have three main models that I'm trading. Every single model, any type of weight, aggressive, passive entry on any of my models would work. So then I went in with the same exact mindset in September, and I was trying to take too many trades. So then I ended up being, you know, absolutely in a big drawdown. Do you copy trade your accounts in TradingView using a third-party app? I used to, but I don't do it anymore because I'm focused on only my Tradeify accounts. But I'm using the free Tradeify trade copier. That's what I'm doing. I have 4 trading strats. Began the month stubbornly sticking to my usual 2. As soon as I switched to the other 2, things became green. Yeah, that's a really good thing you're pointing off. You know, in trading, it's a dynamic market. Okay, what does that mean? It means that the market conditions are forever changing. All right, it might sound scary. It might sound like, all right, what the fuck am I gonna do when my system is not gonna perform that well in some market conditions? That's where your playbook comes in place. You need to have more than one strategy and one way to enter into this market in order to be confident in those losing streaks, in order also to adapt to those market conditions. There is, let's say you have a playbook and you have 3 or 4 plays. For me, I have 3 plays, all right? 3 plays that I backtested in the past. I have a lot of data on. I know there is edge in those plays. Good. There, in those 3 plays, there's some market conditions where one of those plays is going to outperform the others. Okay, there's going to be one of those plays that, even if it's quick scalps, even if it's, an intraday play, there will be one of those 3 that will be in touch with the market and that will outperform the others. Good. Your job is to journal every single day to know which one of your system you should be trading with more size, which one you should avoid, which one is the best in the current market conditions. That's why you can't just have one entry model, not necessarily entry model, but not just one way to read the chart, one strategy. You need to have 3 models, 3 systems in play that you backtested, so even if you face the hardest market conditions in your life, you have the tools to bounce back from that. 100%. That's my view on it. This is a dynamic market, and having a static approach on a dynamic market could work and will work in some sense if you have a true edge, but you will be outperformed by someone who has a dynamic approach to this market. If someone Basically, the reason why someone would outperform you in a year is his ability to adapt to those market conditions. If someone can recognize that this shit is not working and some shit is working, and he's able to, react to that quicker than you, he's going to make more money than you. 100%. So it's not just about pure statistical edge that you're going to trade like a robot. You need to be in touch with those markets to know, all right, I should walk out of this system for now. It's way too dangerous. The ranges are too small. The ranges are too big. It retraces way too deep. It's hard for now to read the chart in this way. Good. Then I'm going back to this one. What if we don't trade 2-3 systems, or we trade 2-3 markets or instruments? Then yeah, of course, that could be it. That could absolutely be it. Of course, for me, this is a good thing you're pointing. For me, I don't trade multiple markets, so that's the reason why I like to have more than one strategy with, the same pair. But of course, you could have, a strategy that you've backtested and it has true edge in multiple markets, and you would basically lower your risk on one asset, risk a little bit more on another, etc., etc. So basically the same approach. But for me, it's the way to make the most amount of money, that's for sure. Adapting to those market conditions. Go take a look at those podcasts where, prop firm traders, not let's say those prop firms that let's say we're not talking about prop firms, online prop firms. We're talking about like prop firms where they invest real money. Okay, prop firm guys, or those guys on the pit, those guys on Wall Street. Basically, what all these guys will say is that the market in 2020 was super different than the market right now, or the market in 2021 was different to the market in 2022. Okay, the strategies, um, let's say, even if you're using discretion or not, there's some strategies that worked so well in 2021 that you had to adapt in 2022 in order for them to work. Deeper retracements, waiting for more confirmations, waiting for this, waiting for that. Good. You don't need, in my opinion, to switch your whole system and switch everything and start panicking. No. You need to take your system and find what is the current flaw. If I'm looking at the market conditions that we're at, okay, let's say you're using inversions. Is price pulling back always towards this inverse because for some reason it pulls back, and it gives, and I always have the worst possible RR because I enter at the close, but right now it always retraces back towards the inverse. Good, adapt. Why is my stop loss not at the body of the candle? Because let's say you could put your stop loss at the body of a candle, but you always put it here, right? 2-3 handles below the low, and then you look back at your journal. Every time price goes here, it never holds. It never holds anyway. Okay, in a span of let's say 100 trades in the last 2 quarters, it never holds. Then just put your stop loss right here. You have a better RR, etc., etc. It's a game where you know you're gonna get rewarded basically for putting in work, and I truly believe that you're absolutely gonna get rewarded for putting in work and uh, being in touch with those markets, knowing what works, knowing what doesn't work, etc. How did you overcome trading psychology? You only over you only overcome trading psychology once you don't need the money to trade, really. If you always rely on the money to trade to feed your family or, to live, you're always going to have to deal with psychology. Always. We're humans and we need money to live. You need money for everything. So until you're in a situation where you're completely you completely detach yourself from that money aspect, psychology is always going to be a factor. Always. A losing streak, you're not going to be too happy about that. Um, the only way you hit a loss streak and you hit a big drawdown period and you don't care is if you're in a financial situation where you could not care. Let's be honest, you know. Going to the bathroom real quick, coming back. But those questions are really good, man. I love responding to that. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I think like I really think trading psychology is a real thing, of course. Like I'm not dumb, but I think it's overrated in a sense where a lot of people blame their psychology when, you know, they don't have a psychology problem. Their system is just so bad that they just lose every time and they self-sabotage always. They always self-sabotage, you know? Let's say your system is shit. Even if you have the best psychology in this game, you're literally, let's say you're how is he called? David Goggins. Let's say you're David Goggins and you have the best psychology in the game and you're disciplined and stuff. Bro, stats don't lie, numbers don't lie. You will get smoked in this market. And if you start getting smoked, even if you're a fucking you have the best psychology in the game, at a certain point you will have enough. You're gonna be like, what the fuck is happening right now? I'm gonna full port my account. That's what's happening inside your head uh, when your strategy doesn't work and you're following all the rules. That's the thing. It's like follow your plan. But at a certain point, if your plan is shit, it's shit. You know, like follow your plan, but follow a good plan. Follow a plan that is a real plan. That could be a short play back down, guys, right here on inside this inverse. Um, Pretty aggressive in my opinion still, but could be a nice potential short. Really aggressive in this way because of this 1 minute. Rather stay out of that. Let me just go back. Let me just go to the bathroom real quick. But write down more questions, guys. I love those actually. They're actually really good. I muted. I'm so dumb. Sorry, guys. Yeah, that inverse was pretty good. Was really aggressive in my opinion, but pretty solid still. We'll see what happened from here. Because basically we're gonna let this gap here, this big gap. So if I can trade back inside this gap, I would like to do so. I would like to enter inside this gap. Let's play some potential shorts. How to develop a system? How can we make our own system? What sample size is good to consider a system a solid system? Good questions. Damn. All right. What is a system? It is a repeatable way to enter the market with an analysis that is repeatable. Okay. You need to have a system is a repeatable approach to enter the market with a take profit and a stop loss. That's just it. All right. You need to have rules. Okay, so this has to happen before I enter. I enter here. I put my stop loss here. My take profit here. This is a system. Good. Okay. How can we make our own system? There is multiple backtesting softwares. Okay, FX Replay, TradeZilla, and you go there, and there's two ways basically. It's either you learn from YouTube some concepts and then you try to build your own system, which is what I did. Okay, that's if you don't have any funds to pay a mentor to show you his strategy. All right, then if you have enough funds to pay a mentor, then this will possibly either be the best thing you ever did in your whole life or the worst thing you ever did in your life. It's either the best investment or the worst investment. One thing about this, let's say buying from a mentor, make sure that he has a strategy or he trades in a way that corresponds to your style. What do I mean by this? A trader that uses a lot of discretion is not a bad mentor, but is a mentor that will have a hard time making his students understand why they lose and why they win. Okay, which, let's say if he's a complete mechanical trader, and if it's more of your style, then he's gonna have more answers to those kind of stuff. Good. Okay, knowing that discretion is hard to repeat and is hard to put into words. Okay, once you understand this, then let's say you take the route of going on YouTube, finding concepts, and then trying to put them in play and trying to see if they work out on FX Replay or on Tradezilla. Now you need to have a Google Sheet or a Discord where you journal your backtest. Okay, it's a work that will take you quite some time, but if you find a partner to work with, man, it could take you 3, 4, 5 times less time than someone else who's doing it on their own. Okay, if you have multiple minds trying to find a system at the same time, you are going to make it way faster than someone else. 100%. Like, the teamwork makes the dream work. Okay, so basically you go watch YouTube videos, and from people that I would say that have results, that have been present on those social media. Don't necessarily go for those kind of people who promote 95% of lifestyle rather than trading, because promoting lifestyle is something that will not doesn't have anything to do with trading, but has more to do with selling you the dream. Once you understand that, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna understand, okay, this guy's good, this guy gives me some concepts that I think I can find an edge in. Perfect. Then you watch all his videos, you watch, let's say, his free courses, etc., you learn those concepts. Once you understood everything and you have those concepts, all right, fair value gaps, inversion fair value gaps, order blocks, breakers, SMTs, buy side, sell side, unfilled gaps. Once you have all those concepts nailed down, then you go in backtesting and you journal every single trade. You try to find something, and it's gonna take you some time, but at a certain point, if you try to get better 1% every single day, you will find one. Okay, you will definitely find an edge in the market if you are trying to find one. But if you keep lying to yourself, and if you keep believing that what someone gives you on YouTube is a profitable edge, when finding a strategy is possibly the hardest thing you could do in trading, once you realize that the strategy doesn't work, you will have so many bad habits in you installed that it's going to be hard to bounce back. So take the right approach from the start. Let's say you don't have the right approach right now, acknowledge that. That's the first way to grow. And once you acknowledge that you don't have the right approach now, you're going to grow. Like, you're going to be way better right now acknowledging that than in 6 months if you keep doing the same thing over and over again. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Albert Einstein. So you can't be, if you see that you're not making any progress, it's not about success, it's about progress. It's about a positive feedback loop. It's all about this. If you're seeing progress, all right, I can see price better. All right, every single day I have the same plan. All right, I can execute. I made a mistake, but I can understand my mistake. This is always having that positive mindset towards trading is what's gonna get you far. So yeah, that's my view on it. So this is how to build a system, and you see, it's not easy. It's not easy, but it's doable. It's doable. And one thing I will say is, you have the chance that we have social media, we have communities and stuff. Join a community and try to find people, like-minded individuals that have the same goal as you, and build an edge with them. I'm telling you one thing. Once you're gonna have an edge, you will understand that psychology is a real thing, but you will have such a better psychology in the first place. You know, if you have real edge and if you win more than you lose in this market because of your statistical advantage over this market, then how are you going to cry after a loss knowing that on the next 100 trades you're winning 70% of them? It's impossible to be to rush the process in that type of a way, basically, if you know you have a proven edge. What really, I'm going to tell you what's happening inside people's brain. People are trading a strategy that they don't know the statistics of. Okay, in the first place, they're trading, let's say, a strategy that they saw on YouTube. Perfect. They trust that the guy who made the video has did basically the work in the past to prove that it's a profitable edge. Good. Okay, you're putting your trust on someone else. It's pretty deep, but I wouldn't do so. I would try to do the work on my own to make sure that it's good. But what they do, basically, what most people do, is that they will trade a strategy that they found on YouTube. Perfect. Now they will take 20 trades. Okay, 20 trades. And then what will happen is that they will win, let's say 14, and lose 6. Good. And they're going to be like, okay, that's really good. That's really good. I'm going to keep going with this strategy. And then next month, that's month 1. Month 2, they're going to go again and take 20 trades. But then they're going to win 6, okay, and lose 14. And then, okay, what is happening is that even if this edge was profitable, and the guy on YouTube who gave you the video actually knew it was a profitable edge, even if it was profitable, you never did the work to prove that it was profitable, and you don't have, the statistical proof behind why you should keep trading the strategy even if you're in the drawdown period. Then you will just strategy hop and doubt the strategy. You'll be like, okay, damn, the strategy sucks. I'm going to get out and try to find something else. But what you need to understand is that every strategy has drawdown periods. It's just how are you going to react to those drawdown periods knowing that you have a real statistical edge. And if you have that real statistical edge, you will get out of that drawdown eventually if you know it's a real edge. If you don't know it's a real edge, and if you don't have the hard proofs behind why it's a real edge, then how are you going to accept a losing streak? It's impossible. You're just going to blame it on the edge, either on your psychology. That's what usually happens. So even if you are currently trading a real edge, usually that could happen. You are trading something that actually makes sense and is actually good, and you will drop it because you never did the hard part of trading, which was backtesting and knowing what is all the statistics behind your trading. Okay, in 2021, I faced a 17 trade loss streak, but eventually I got back up on my feet 2 months after. Is that a bad strategy because you went on a 17 trade loss streak? Possibly not if it makes 100% every single year, but you ate that loss streak. Wins and losses are completely randomly distributed. It's a random distribution. You could have, I have, let's say, my next 100 trades, okay, I could lose the first 8. Loss. And then I could win the next 23. But does that make me a good trader or a bad trader? No, I'm just a guy who's executing a system that has been proven to work in the past and that I trust with my life. That's how deep it needs to be. I hate when people just are saying the biggest lie in trading is every strategy works. No, don't believe that. Not every strategy works. Hell no. Hell no. If you believe every strategy works, I don't know what to tell you. Imagine this. There's people that are graduating from IB schools, the biggest schools and the hardest schools to enter on and to graduate from, and they're paying those people millions of dollars to create algorithms with a real proven edge. Do you think that with an algorithm don't have any psychological flaws, which means that if every strategy actually worked and you could blame everything on your psychology, then why don't you code your strategy, your double bottom strategy? Because it's not a strategy, Gotta have the basics right in the first place. A lot of things that, you know, people think that trading, let's say a lot of people that think that way, um, is not the right approach to grow. Stop lying to yourself. The moment you're gonna stop lying to yourself is the moment you grow. So just been watching you on Tradeify. What's up, bro? How much time you use to invest daily on charts to refine your strategy? Um, Quite some time, to be honest. Was doing it the whole day at a certain point with my brother. So if I wasn't doing this with my brother, God knows if I would be trading now. God knows this is how deep it is, guys. If I wasn't doing this with my brother, if I didn't find this edge with my brother, God knows if I would be trading right now. Which is insane. It's insane to say because if you don't have a real system, if you're not putting in the hard work, one day or another you're gonna crack, bro. You're gonna be like, fuck this shit. But no, not you cannot be that you cannot be that dumb to stop. You just have to switch your approach. That's it. Can't cheat this game, in my opinion. Can't cheat it. It's like, guys, just take this into account. Being a professional trader in this, we're trading an environment. This market is no joke, right? This market is no joke. NQ futures is no fucking joke. They are ran by banks, institutions, high frequency algorithms that are built by people, the smartest people on this earth. Do you think you stand a chance against them if you're not prepared just because you have the right psychology? Hell no. Hell no. It's like basketball. Do you think you're gonna win? You're gonna just jump in. You're just gonna jump in a 5-on-5 against professional basketball players without putting in years of effort behind. It's the same, being a professional at, a sport is comparable to being a professional at trading, 100%. 100%. And if you think it doesn't require work to go there, you've been lied to, my guy. Been lied to. Bro, what do you think simple systems work long term? And also, that is logical system. What does this mean? Market conditions change. What does market move same up or down? I don't understand your question, really. Disagree. Every strategy may work, but not every strategy works for everyone. Nah. Fortunately, it's not this way, brother. It's not this way, my brother. Everyone would be rich if the trading channel's YouTube strategy would work. You know? It's deeper than that. Stop lying to yourself. Be real. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. You ain't got no cash. But yeah, a lot of stuff that you would ask me, I would respond to you in a way that you'd be like, why the fuck does he think that way? Hey man, if you think like the masses, you'll end up like the masses. That's just the principle. You got to think outside of the box. Okay, I'm just thinking about statistics. Okay, 95% of people are losing traders. All right, let me just dig in a little bit more into this. All right, 95% of people lose in this market. Good. What are those people watching? Okay, they're watching this guy. Nobody's making money. Holy fucking shit. Why am I watching this guy? Bruh. Stop watching the guy. Know what I'm saying? Go do that shit on your own. Listen, it's exactly this, all right? having a trading system, that is actually profitable is like having gold in your hands, okay? But let's say everyone, let's say it's always what I say to people. For for this market to be a market where you could eat and you have edge on, you need people to not have the same edge as you. What do I mean by this? All right, let's say we're on a highway. Okay, let's say we're on a highway, and if you make that small right lane, okay, that nobody knows about, you can take off and there's going to be no traffic at all inside this right lane, but nobody knows about it. Okay? But then at a certain point, this right lane, someone told a shit ton of people that this right lane existed. So now everyone is starting to take this right lane. What is going to happen? This right lane is going to be stuffed with fucking cars too. There's going to be a shit ton of people in traffic inside this right lane, this magical right lane. It needs to be something that has not a lot of views. I think, the best people you could learn from are people that don't have a lot of views. Everything that is mainstream, really, in my opinion, it could bring you value for sure. But it's not, okay, do this, you're going to have that, bro. 5 million people are watching the video. What do you think is going to happen? Be smart. Why trading is the hardest profession? Trading is the hardest profession. I will tell you why. Trading is the hardest profession because in the first place, if you come in as a retail trader, most of the information that is available online is not real. So if you start trading with something that is not real, then you think you're going to start blaming yourself for not having success when in reality you're just trading noise. So once you understand that, it's really because of the education, I would say. It's hard mentally for sure. I don't think everyone should be trading if they are if they are in a financial situation that is not, they're not doing well. I don't think you should be trading. I really think you should, fix those this financial part in your life first, and then start trading. Trading is investing. If you don't have money to invest in the first place, trading is so hard mentally. 100%. You forget about the giveaway? No, I didn't. I just want to make you wait till the end of this live. So guys, yeah, one thing is you'll find someone, man. I will not emphasize this enough. Find someone. Teamwork makes the dream work. If you have that kind of mindset where you're like, yeah, I'm gonna find my strategy on my own and I'm gonna gatekeep it because everyone is against me and nobody wanted to see me succeed, bro. Shut the fuck up. All right, shut the fuck up. And nobody cares about you. Really, like everyone is focus on their own life. Just be peaceful, be a nice guy. Find yourself a team, like a partner where he has a good heart, he's a good guy and has the same aspiration as you as becoming a full-time professional trader, and do it, man. Find it. Grind every single day. Keep yourself accountable to this guy. Bring more people into your team. Do this, do that. I'm telling you, without my brother, I would be nothing. And that's on God. Not profitable yet. You think it's good to buy one account and scale and yeah, for sure. That's the best thing to do if you don't have any proven let's say if you don't know if your strategy works now, and if you've never been profitable, you shouldn't start scaling. This is a good M3 in my opinion, right here. Good possible longs back towards these equal highs here. 100%. Am I gonna take it? No, 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 no. But good longs, just like those shorts right here. Accept your faith. If you entered here, accept your faith. That's your strategy. The problem is how to find the same mindset. You're right, man. Not everyone has the same have that drive, have that drive to become the best, and have that drive to, you know, let everything go just to reach a certain level. A lot of people say they will and they want to become that guy, but when it's time to show up, they don't even respect um their own words. So you need to find there, but there is, bro. Have faith. There is people that are willing to die for this shit. And I've seen those people in my Discord, and I've talked to a lot of people, one to one. And not I'm not just talking about one conversation. I'm talking about people that you know I've texted for 1 whole year, 2 years, and I've seen those guys, bro. They are here. They're hiding though. They're not hating on let's say Twitter, on YouTube comments, that's for sure. If you're hating, if you're like a hater, bro, if you take the time to like make sure that what someone says is like, oh yeah, uh, he did this, he has this of track record, he does that, oh no, he's that guy's bad, bro. Work on yourself, bro. Nobody cares. I'm never gonna talk about anyone else in this community, but basically, I'm gonna say, okay, this guy's legit, this guy's not legit. I don't care. Why would I care? Bro, can you give an advice if you do one payout from a 50K account? What's the next step? Take it slow, man. Scaling, I'm gonna tell you this. Scaling is when you're gonna have to deal with psychological issues. When you're gonna start seeing P&L that you're not used to and start to lose money that you're not used to lose in a trade, then you will start to make mistakes that are not necessarily based on your system, that are based on your psychology. So you want to make sure that you are completely um, you know, profitable before scaling. You're completely confident in your ability to scale and to reinvest that money into the business. It's a business at the end of the day. Why wouldn't you take that? I told you guys, looking for something more specific right now. Basically, um, this was a good trade, 100%. It's just take a look at my account balance. All right, take a look. I have, when you're so close to a payout, you don't want to take any risks. So there is like one model specifically that I'm only trading right now. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to take any risk. Even if this goes through and I wasn't in, I don't care. I'm following my plan. So, I'm waiting for um, a really specific thing to happen in the market in order for me to enter. And if it takes 2 days to show up in front of the chart, it will take 2 days. I don't give a shit. But this is a good trade. Let's say in terms of inversions and how it reacted. Swept the sell side, couldn't close a singular handle below the low. Inversion for value gap on the M3, just literally like this one, exactly like this one. Where you see, let's say this one failed, this one is working right now. I wish I had the opportunity to make you understand the concept. It's not as simple as it seems. It is same 5 people out of 100 that mostly grabs money from the remaining 95%. He told you. That's a good thing, but there's also like, I think the statistic is still not well put in, because everyone is put in the same basket. You have to this statistic is possibly not 95, it's possibly like 88, something like this. I still believe that there's way more profitable traders out there than this statistic, for sure. Reasoning for it is because I don't think that someone who trades for one day or 2 months should be put in this statistic. I really think that, if you take the statistic of people that have the right approach, that started trading knowing that, okay, they need to find the right system. Okay, this is their psychology. This is this. I find a partner. I find the right educator, the right mentor. This, and they have, they they have that right learning curve, and they're doing the right stuff, and they keep going for 3 to 5 years. This statistic is so much higher than this. It's like, let's say, what's the statistics of someone going to the NBA? Possibly less than 1%. But how many of those people are actually um, playing basketball every day, eating right, doing this, doing that? They paid for training, extra training. They paid for being in AAU teams in the summer. You know, the statistics goes up. Oh, what statistics? The guy is taller. He had already good genes to be there. If you're a smart guy, you possibly have more chances of winning. Not necessarily because you're smart, or even, let's say, if you're someone who's not risk averse, basically, who doesn't care about the risk, who um, is a risk taker, you have more chances of winning inside this game. So depending on who you are as a person and your approach to the endeavor that you want to pursue, the statistics are completely different than 95%, 100%. You know. Do you need to develop your own strategy and be able to see an edge where most people don't see? Yes. Yes. Not necessarily in a sense where you would trade something completely differently. Hell no. You know, for me, if you ask me really, like the question, does the strategy that I show on YouTube work? I have the data that proves it works. It works. It does work. It is a good strategy. But your way of adapting to the market conditions is what will make you profitable. If you understand more scenarios, if you backtest in a sense where you understand all the ins and outs of this strategy, if you add some rules to this strategy, then it's way easier to become profitable, let's say. It doesn't, let's say, for me, the way that I trade, it's not something that, okay, oh, you're a wizard to know this. No. You most likely, if I would, let's say, if I explain it to someone, he's gonna understand. He's gonna be like, yeah, I know this. But it's just, how deep are you gonna dig into those concepts to know when to stay out of the market? It's really this. It's not necessarily about how many wins can I take in a row. The difference between me and someone I'm mentoring is that I will never take as much losers as he will. He will be way more aggressive, but I will be way more passive than him because I've seen so much more data than him, and I know what, like, this market can tear me apart if I'm too aggressive, or if I disregard this aspect in my system. You know, I know basically I have the hard proof behind I should stick to those rules. You know what I mean? So it's really not about how much winning trades you can make. Let's say with the inversion strategy that I'm giving you, there's at least 8 winning trades every week. It's take this and be like, all right, what is the rules that he didn't tell me that I can find on myself, or with, like, on my own, or with someone, that will prevent me from taking those unnecessary losers that will eat my P&L at the end of the year, or that will eat my P&L in a certain quarter, or when some market conditions will happen. This is the difference between someone who's profitable and who's not profitable. It's how many bad trades he can avoid. It's really not about how many good trades he can take. Because for me, let's say for my mentees, every single person that I mentored, they're always going to take my winning trade, but I'm not always going to take their losing trade. That's the aspect behind those statistics. It's, are you going to be able to find rules that will prevent you from taking those unnecessary losers? And Let's be honest, guys, win rate is highly correlated with the frequency of trades. If you have a high frequency of trades, it means that your system is simple and it doesn't have a lot of rules. Price action doesn't need to do multiple things in a row in order for you to trade it. You know, if it's super simple and you have a lot of you have a lot of trades in a day, then you're gonna hit some market conditions that will be harder, and you will give back a lot of profits. So you need to find rules in order to lower that amount of trades you take in a month, knowing that this rule is better for your win rate overall. You know? But these are such good questions, guys. I love those. But you see, my view on trading is completely different to 90% of people. And it's not because I have this view, guys, that it's the right view. That's one thing. I truly believe that there is a lot of good discretionary traders. But for me, I know discretion is not for me. I know discretion is something that is unteachable and hard to replicate. If you have a mentor that trades with discretion, it's going to be hard for you to, because you can't teach discretion. You only have to you're going to feel it with your market experience. And knowing that it's unteachable, why would you want someone to teach it to you? You know? Um, I like your thought process. The way you stick to your rules is like rules matter more than money. 100%. 100%. I know, because this is the thing about, backtesting. I view backtesting as a video game. I've been a gamer my whole life. And, for me, watching the charts for 15, let's say 15 hours, like I was playing, let's say, games for 10 to 12 hours every single day, no joke. And for me, watching those charts was not, it's not something that is hard for me to do. Okay, so I put in a lot of time in backtesting from the start, and backtesting basically teach me that if I don't follow my rules, I will lose. It's just as simple as this. If I don't have a super systematic approach to my trading, and if I don't follow it to the T, like exactly, I am done. Like I'm better off working a regular job and stop doing what I'm doing right now than, uh, start not taking trades that are my system, or start taking riskier trades that I disregard one rule, etc., etc. So yeah, that's really it. I learned a lot from backtesting, 100%. But I learned a lot from live trading also. It's just what you can learn from backtesting will save you so much time, money, and doubts and suffering in the live market. If you're basing previous price action to predict the future price action, okay, you have way more chances um, of seeing, success than someone who's just trading blindly. Um, that's true, but my point was how for every person that sells a contract, someone buys. If the 5% buys, the other 95 sells to them. Therefore, they lose money. Not necessarily in that way, bro. It's not it's not because, let's say, a move goes up that 95% of people didn't win. No, it's like just overall, most likely like 50% of the people lost on those shorts that got squeezed, depending on the order flow, how many sellers got trapped here. But it's overall, with repetition after repetition after repetition, then most of them will lose money because they don't have the right approach, don't have the right system. It's all about statistics at the end of the day. If you take the one of the biggest hedge funds in the world, um, was built by a mathematician, someone who's really good with stats, and then um, understood the game. The statistic is flawed. It measures even new traders. It should measure after 3 to 5 years. we'll see a difference. Of course, most people, yeah, exactly. Exactly this. It's exactly this, for sure. You can't, like, let's say my dad puts $50 in his Robinhood account and he loses it and he's going to be part of the 95% of losing traders. It doesn't make sense for me, you know. But how many traders gave everything they had to make it their profession? It's like, see it as a profession. That's the thing. It's like too many people see it as a side hustle. If you see it as a side hustle, you're cooked. Like, cooked is not even the word. You're just so cooked. You need to see it as a real job. You know, people, let's say, if you want to get paid big bucks, let's say we're talking, let's say, about doctors. They're in where I live, they go to university for 11 years. 11 years to make 300K per year, 600K, 700K per year. How much time do you think it's gonna take you to make this kind of money? This quite the same time, you know? You're fried. You're talking about me. I look fried. Why would I be trading while being fried? And I don't take those kind of stuff. Or I don't know if you're talking about someone else, but bro, there was an imbalance in NQ and they had to balance. And because of the fact that I didn't follow my rules in ICT, analyzing I had to do was read the chart. Yeah. Let's say you make a mistake. Best thing you could do is to don't talk bad at yourself and be like, damn, I'm a dumbass, I do this and that. Your subconscious mind can't make the difference between, you know, you trolling or you being serious. Always always have that positive mindset. Always, okay, I did this, all right, I'm gonna fix it. I can do that to become better next time. Bottom line, how was your experience with intraday drawdown? I mean, it's not bad because I have a system, let's say, with low risk to reward. So since my system has low risk to reward, then I don't really care about trailing drawdown. You know, I'm not floating in profits for a lot, then getting stopped out to break even, which will, you know, be a problem for my system. For me, I'm going in and out super quick. So even if I'm floating in profits, I'm floating $100, let's say on a 50K account, trying to aim for 200, let's say, you know. On, let's say, a 150K account, it would be a little bit harder because the floating profits would be you know, bigger depending on my size, but even that, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Bottom line, it's a guessing game. You predict price will go up, the billionaires and algos move the market, and we just respond. Exactly. Exactly. React to what you see. Know that what you're doing has a statistical edge, and you're good. Hi, bro. My question is made out of two parts. First is you only look for the current leg when the IFVG forms, swing low to swing high. When you're looking for a time frame with only one IFVG, right? For the current leg when the IFVG forms, and you're looking for a time frame with only, yeah. I don't see the two parts though, but let's say you have a 15-minute gap, which is right here. You would mark out the sell side in this case, and then what you would want to see, let's say you would just go on the 15 to mark out this blue box, and then you would go on the 1, 2, 3, or 5-minute chart and wait for aggression from opposite participants. You want to see that the leg that created the sweep into the 15 has only one gap right here. So the leg that created the sweep into the 15 has one gap, and then this fair value gap will tell you, all right, this is my aggressive sellers on the lower time frame, but we're entering a zone where buyers on the higher time frame are heavy. Okay, we have a lot of passive buyers here ready to absorb those sellers. Good. Then your next step is to wait for this fair value gap to get inverse so you could try to play reversal back to the upside. That's an order flow kind of play, looking at fair value gaps and inversions on, on NQ. Bro, go on 5-minute NQ, zoom out, look at the dump, and then look at the rest. You can see the imbalance. Then you can see the rest, how it tries to balance. Yeah, for sure. That's a good thing. Let's say what he means is that, let's say when you create, that's a framework I'm basically showing y'all also on YouTube, is the fact that if price is in an imbalanced state, let's say if it rips down and forms fair value gaps on the way down, it means that it has low volume inside the zone. There is not a lot of volume traded. For the price action to have high volume, it needs to be choppy. Okay, it needs to have transactions between buyers and sellers. Right here, the sellers were the one being aggressive, so aggressive to a point where buyers cannot even stand up to push price. What does that do? It means that it has low volume, and price it will be attracted to those low volume areas, which are fair value gaps after a sell-off. Let's say in this case, let's say he's talking about the 5-minute chart. We sold off, and then you start finding resistance back towards an unfilled fair value gap because it has low volume. This is a good thing a good way to read price action on those lower time frames. Let's say on the 15 here, you created a 15-minute bullish fair value gap. Knowing that you created a gap here, you know that a lot of orders are sitting right here that are unfilled, and this becomes a good draw on liquidity because it has low volume. Okay, if it has low volume traded right here, price will be attracted to go back towards this area to basically put price in a fair value state. Okay, this is what is a fair value gap. Basically, in other terms, it means that price is not at its fair value right now because it displaced, in a sense, that moved the market too wide in one direction. And for the market to be balanced, it needs to create impulsions, pullbacks, impulsions, pullbacks. How many years should we backtest? For me, I have data from 2018 all the way to now. One thing though, you don't necessarily need to make sure that your system works in 2018, because the price action in 2018 is completely different to what we have now. What you can do is take the price action from 2023 all the way to now, so 2023, 2024, 2025, and this is a really good sample size to know if your strategy works. I'm not telling you to go back this all the way to 2012 because the volume traded was completely different. There was no zero DTE, there was nothing. So for you to apply rules that would make sense in 2012 that are not making sense at all in 2025, that's just dumb in my opinion. But of course, let's say, and this is why what I mean by being able to adapt to those market conditions is that your framework, your way to read price should be the same, but your entries should be different. Your stop loss should be either a little bit tighter, a little bit wider. Your risk to reward should be adapted to what you're currently seeing. But the most important aspect is understanding how price moves on the higher time frame and why does it move that way. But the fair value gaps, understanding, okay, price is creating a gap, it wants to trade back down towards an unfilled gap. Exactly what happened right here. Let's say I go here. It happened multiple times this day, but I'm going to show you 3 scenarios. This is, let's say, a framework rather than an entry model. But let's say here you create a 15-minute fair value gap. Perfect. All right. Then you know that this zone is a good draw on liquidity. If you can find signs of weakness right here at this high, you can trade back towards this unfilled gap because you know it has low volume and price is attracted to it. See what's going to happen. Boom, next candle, shoots down, fills this gap. Perfect. We're going to wait for another gap to be created now. Okay. Now another gap gets created right here on this 15-minute chart. Perfect. This is imbalance. It means that price, if we can find signs of weakness right here, signs that price is weak at those lows and the buyers are strong, we could start trading back up towards this internal gap and having this as our target. Okay, that's a way to read price. Boom, what does it do? Fills this gap. Perfect, 2 times. But is that, a strategy? It's mainly a framework. Then same thing happened right here. We created a 15-minute bullish for value gap right here. What is your framework overall? Price should be attracted to trade back here because it has low volume. So you want to find signs of weakness at those highs in order to trade back there. Okay. Then let's say in 2012, what will work is a breaker. What works now is an inversion for value gap. What, let's say you saw in 2012 that it was accumulating a lot, then you would use the power of 3, try to enter above a high to trade back down towards the low. Entries are not that important in a sense. Okay, that's what I mean by having a framework and being able to adapt it through market conditions, because your entry, it's important. Okay, the timing of your entry is really important, but let's say the model that you're entering off of is still subjective. Okay, you're entering on a breaker, you don't know if the breaker is going to hold or not. But you know that statistically price has more chances of going back towards this low because it has an unfilled gap below it. That's the principle behind what's the difference between a framework and a strategy. Losing my voice right now. How does it feel to be goated? Appreciate you, bro. Do you have backtest sessions on Sunday with Nick? I'm doing it alone, guys. Backtesting session. Yeah, I didn't tell you. There is a backtesting session on Tradeify TV that I will be the host of, okay, which is insane. I'll be hosting a backtesting, not session, tournament, okay, backtesting tournament. We're doing a collab with FX Replay, which is completely insane. So basically what we're going to have is a tournament where you guys will enter. These are called like trade wars, or backtesting battles, and I will have a code, okay, that I will send, let's say when I'm going to do the live, and you will put down this code. All right, so you will enter into the personalized game. Once you're inside this personalized game, what you will do is that you will start backtesting, and there's going to be like 15 days that you have to backtest, and like let's say you have 10 days to backtest and you have like 15 minutes to do so, and then there's going to be a leaderboard. We're going to make this like 2-3 times and see which people can be on the top 1, top 2, top 3. You cannot make more than, let's say, 15% on a singular trade if people, because people would just try to predict low of day and let it run and try to gamble their way out. So let's say there's going to be a maximum profits you can make in a day, so you cannot really gamble. And let's say the top 10, right now it's official, but the top 10 will have prizes. I don't know exactly what prizes Tradeify will be able to give, but let's say the top 3 will definitely have straight to funded accounts. So if you're really good, though you could definitely secure an account. This is what I preach backtesting. I think is the best thing a trader can do in order to know if his strategy works. So this is exactly what we're going to do. You're going to get rewarded if you're good at backtesting, and for you to put in more work in backtesting before trying to gamble your way out with those prop firms. So, and yeah, so top 10 will have prizes, and also FX Replay is going to give out prizes also for the top 10, which is insane. So you could, let's say okay, you live in a third world country and you don't have a lot of money, okay, you could win a prop firm account, let's say straight to funded account if you're good, and you could also win, let's say 6 months of free backtesting on FX Replay. So now y'all cannot tell me, oh, my psychology, or oh, Amos, I don't have enough money to buy an account. I need to see you guys there. All the guys from, everyone is DMing me for that, but all those guys that are DMing me, that they're telling me, oh, I'm asking you buy me an account. Listen, you better show up and show me that you're good at trading, because Cannot tell me, yo, Moss, I'm telling you, bro, if you buy me this account, I'm gonna make this amount of money for sure. I'm gonna give it. That's just how I view it. Let's say if I was broke, I would be working 80 hours a week. I would sacrifice a lot of stuff to make more money. You know, to put myself in a position. I would sacrifice my sleep, my health, in order to have more money to then put myself in a position where I could invest invest my time into something that will potentially change my life, like trading or something else. But I don't think you can be broke in the United States. It's all a question of choice. There are choices you need to make. You either spend too much, depending. I could be talking shit because you have a family and stuff, you have a lot of responsibilities. But let's say in my case, let's say a young guy that doesn't have any responsibility, I think if you're broke, it's your choice. But if you have a family and you're older and stuff, it's completely different. 100%. So yeah, didn't take any fucking trades, man. That's crazy. Oh, damn. But yeah, guys. So have you? Yeah, no trades today, unfortunately. So yeah, backtesting session. There's gonna be prizes for at least the top 10. And this is something, just mark my words, but this is something that if you guys show up, all right, it could become big to a point where we do this every single Sunday. And let's say it becomes so big to a point where we don't even give out accounts anymore. We give out like bread. It could, I'm talking, out of my ass right now, but it could become this. You could, if it becomes big to a point where there's real prize pools, it could become like a, kind of gaming thing. If you're good at backtesting, if you're good at reading price action, there's going to be leaderboards. You're going to, I'm going to make you a shout out, top one. I'm going to invite you to something. Let's say, talk in my Discord, etc., etc. So, man, this is a good opportunity for a lot of people to just showcase how good they are, um, even if, let's say, you're not necessarily at the stage where you want to become or where you want to be in your life with trading. So yeah, it could become really big, and I want to see you guys all there Sunday, 7 p.m. EST, backtesting tournament with Amos. All right. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing though. That's the thing I need to talk about with Nick. A lot of people are gonna show up that are not from the fucking States. Like European guys are such a big population in trading, let's say. Big part of my community. Either even like Asia and what else? Africa also. But yeah, we're gonna have more information about this for sure. But for now, this is what I have, and I want to see you guys all there. I wanna see who's actually about that. And even if, let's say, we're gonna make multiple rounds, so even if you fucked up on, you know, the first two rounds, then you could definitely grind your way up to get that straight to sim funded account. So once I make the announcement, make sure to, repost, like, comment, and try to bring the biggest, the most amount of people into this tournament. Because if it becomes big, then it could be something where you could potentially benefit more from it. 100%. Yeah, it's this Sunday, 7 p.m. EST, and I'm the host on Tradeify TV. Yeah, midnight in UK. That's the thing. I don't know, because the thing is, if we do it on what? If we do it on in the morning, nobody's gonna show up really. We could do that like, what time do you guys think is the best? 12? Let's say 12 p.m. Is 12 p.m. good? You guys think 12 p.m. is good? But yeah, no trades for me, guys. Let me just show y'all my journal right now. I'm just gonna show y'all my journal and just show you guys how much I'm up on those accounts. Didn't give you an update since last time, but so okay, so these are my accounts. Oh shit, I actually didn't want to show that, but fuck it. What the fuck is this? All right, so these are my accounts. Open journal, and right here. So this is my P&L. 37,930 bucks right now on my accounts. I win twice as much as I lose, which is pretty good. And yeah, so this is my journal. And if I go here, top right, FTD, you guys can see. If I just drag my face back here, a mouse and FTD to the right. So I don't want to see anyone yet about that. Oh shit, I didn't do the giveaway. Fuck. I'm gonna do the giveaway right now. But yeah, so just wanted to show you guys my P&L for the people who didn't have any updates on my trade calendar. Wanted to keep it brutally honest and transparent as much as I can. Not that easy of a month for now. Gave back some profits on one setup. There's one setup has been fucking killing me right now. If I didn't take, I would have been really good right now. Which is the setup that I took here, 6.1 loss. Setup that I took here, 3.3 loss, and setup that I took here, 2.7 loss. You know, quite mad, but what do you want me to do? So right here, I go bot Ricks, and I'll do a 50k advanced giveaway because we're at 120. It's a growth. Damn, you guys worked overtime for those likes. Holy shit! All right, well we're gonna do the word you're with two R's. Okay. Okay, so the word, so it's for a 50k growth account, and the word is your. So I got you, Mamat. I sent you the DM on Twitter, and which one? Mikey DM me on Discord. The word is your, and yeah, your. That's it for a 50k growth account giveaway. Come on. Everyone spam your. So, how many? 78? Nah. You guys are tripping. You guys are tripping. Hell no. There's gonna be so many people logging into their fourth account, so I need to watch for that. As soon as we're 89 starting, spam your. Imagine if just someone just joins my stream out of nowhere and he hears me say this word. 91. All right, y'all are joking. We're 86 starting right now. Aceptar. Log in. Kushal Mital. Come on, Kushal Mital. Me brother. You have 48 seconds to type in the chat, my brother, to win a 50k growth account. Watching the comments to see if you typed. But congrats. Need to see you. 29 seconds, come on. Bro, what are you doing? Un poquito, Kevin. You typed? Oh, Kushal Mital. Yes, I'm here. You're. People are still. Some people are still spamming your. Insane. Good shit. You won. So make sure to have your email in your YouTube description, or even the best thing would be if you join my free Discord in my YouTube description, and you type in my general chat. Show me that it's you. Just show me like a screenshot that you're in your account, okay, in your YouTube account with your name, your email, and then I'm gonna send it through Discord. But man, I have to go now. I have a meeting for exactly the TV um, Tradeify TV backtesting tournament. Everyone, I need you guys to show up on Sunday, 7 p.m. EST backtesting tournament. Prize pools, straight to funded accounts giveaway, lightning accounts giveaway, growth, advanced. We're gonna have FX replay subscriptions for free for the top 5, top 10. So make sure to tune in. Appreciate you guys so much. We've had a blast today talking about profitability, talking about my view on trading, my view on strategies and stuff. So I see you guys tomorrow at the same time, 1 p.m. EST, for another stream. So live trading again. Hopefully I'll take a trade, but you guys can see on my accounts, taking it pretty slow and trying to build my balance to get the first payout on these set of accounts. Okay, so let's get it, guys. Appreciate y'all so much. If you guys want to check out a prop firm, make sure to check out Tradeify. By far the best prop firm in this game. You have accounts where you don't even need to pass any evals. Code Amos for the highest discounts. And my favorite accounts are by far the straight to funded accounts, so lightning accounts. Appreciate you guys so much. See you guys on next one. Peace out. You're